No, I'm gone. I'm gone. No, but no.
了解详情请按0，由华语客服为您服务。
How's it going? Welcome back to another great video here on The Savior Show. It's great to be back. I am now back from my trip. If you're not aware, a vlog will come out soon. I went to Africa, so stay tuned for that. And I'm also working on a new philosophical video around the Soviet Union, so lots of good stuff is coming. If you're new to the channel and you like game reviews, philosophical content, and all kinds of great stuff, join the channel, subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. And if you do find yourself enjoying this video, give it a like, because apparently that does actually help. I don't usually ask for you to like the video, but it does help the channel. And if you do like this content, just subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, but that 2 seconds, that means so much to me. You have no idea. Join the Savior Empire today. Today, I'm going to be giving you my Wulong Fallen Dynasty review, okay? Wulong Fallen Dynasty, however you want to call it. It depends if you're a man of culture like myself and you like to drink tea, or perhaps you're a pesky American who managed to escape the British Empire and now you think you're much better than us. Well, that's because you are, but dynasty, it doesn't matter, okay? Let's all get along, shall we? This Wulong Fallen Dynasty review is based on the early version of the game, the preview build that I managed to play. And yes, I do my reviews early, usually based around early gameplay that I've managed to find. I do extensive research so you don't have to, but a lot of the time I do actually get to play the preview version of the game. And in this instance I'm just trying to be as honest and as transparent as possible, because of course you always get the little cucks in the comments who say it's not a review, even though it is a review. I've played the game and this is based on the preview early build of Wulong, okay? I do this early, okay, to save you money, because pre-orders is completely destroying the gaming industry. I talk about this all the time. It's not like the good old days where we could just blatantly trust the gaming industry and the developers and the studios and the big corporate scumbags, you know, destroying their game in the process with microtransactions and basically a deadline that seems impossible, so the game gets rushed and pushed out. Comparing a video game to the released footage to what it's actually like is completely different, okay? Because a lot of the gaming studios now just lie about it, and they release unfinished games and then expect you to pay a massive amount of money because everything's gone up now. So games are now like $70 or, you know, like £60, which is insane, because now it seems there is no repercussions in the gaming industry and the media in general, where people just lie and they take your money and they just show you something that is completely false. It's false advertising a lot of the time, and it's happened so many times with massive gaming developers and studios that we once trusted, but now we can't. So it's always better to do your research. So let's get on with this Wulong Fallen Dynasty game review and discuss exactly what this is, because a lot of people are confused. So this is the same developers who made Ninja Gaiden, Nioh 2, and even though Nioh 2 is kind of like a Souls-like, this is basically breaking away from the Souls-like genre. It still does have like some Souls-like gameplay in it and mechanics, but this is very different, okay? This is a more action melee focused combat game. Imagine a combination of Devil May Cry, Bloodborne, and Nioh. This is what Wulong Fallen Dynasty is, okay? It's a very heavily focused action game, focusing on melee combat and magic-based combat. The combat is a lot more complex, but not as complex as Nioh 2, which I thought was a great game. I loved Nioh 2. I wasn't a fan of all of the other games that this studio has put out, but I think Nioh 2 was like the best, you know, combination of all of their previous games and a mixture of Souls-like. But this is a little bit toned down compared to Nioh 2, but this does give it a more kind of focused feeling and a stronger design where Nioh 2 was just trying to do so many different things. The magic in this game is a lot more focused compared to Nioh 2, and you have over 30 spells and much more. One thing that I don't like compared to Nioh 2 is they took away the stance-based system, you know, kind of similar to Ghost of Tsushima, and I absolutely loved that. It just gave a whole new dynamic. It did this way before Ghost, and I feel like it did a better job because it really changed up the gameplay, but now it's replaced with like special moves, which is basically intertwined to whatever weapon you're using. So it is a lot more focused and a lot more stripped down in some ways, but doing this has managed to make it focus more on the melee combat, and it's even more aggressive than Nioh 2. It's even more fast-paced than Bloodborne or Nioh, which is pretty insane. I would say that this is the most fast-paced third-person action melee combat game that I have ever played, and it still does have that slice of the Souls-like genre DNA mixed in it, but it's just not like a focus. You know, you can't exactly say this is a Souls-like in comparison to Nioh 2. You know, there is no like resting mechanic anymore in which all of your items refill at like a bonfire, which Nioh 2 did have. There are a lot of changes, so let's get into the positives and the negatives. Wulong Fallen Dynasty is a good game, okay? I think this is actually going to be a massive sleeper hit, and it's a shame because I feel like this is going to get overlooked in many ways, you know, compared to a lot of other Souls-like, which get a lot more attention, but this is trying to do something different, and I think it succeeds in pretty much everything that it does, but it does have a few issues. And the main issue being the boring level design. It's not an interconnected world like Dark Souls. It doesn't have a focus on exploration, and I do like exploration in any type of video game. It doesn't matter what genre it is, but this is purely focused around combat. Basically, you engage with the level as if it was, you know, a speedrunning type playthrough, and this does make it feel very exciting to play because, you know, it's constant adrenaline. There are cool mechanics at play, which I'm going to get into, like the morale-based system. There is a lot going on here that I absolutely love, but the level design is lacking. It's very linear and one-dimensional. Yes, you can jump now, which you couldn't in Nioh 2, but they just haven't done that much with it. You know, they could have made some cool platforming sections, some more interesting ways to explore and find, you know, hidden loot, but they don't really reward the player in exploration that much. It just adds a new dynamic in which you can, you know, basically bypass some of the level or, you know, get access to a new area that you wouldn't have otherwise. But it's nothing groundbreaking, and it's not interconnected exactly like Dark Souls or anything like that. So the combat is very similar to Nioh, but it's more aggressive than before. It's more fast-paced, and it's not around Japanese mythology anymore, which of course I love. This is around Chinese mythology. It's good to see the Chinese mythology and old history get some attention here because, of course, so many people love Japanese mythology, and for good reason. It's got a very strong vibe to it. I absolutely love it. That's just another reason why I'm moving to Japan, if you're not aware. So, you know, look forward to a lot of vlogs. But anyway, you know, it is nice to have a different atmosphere. You know, it's the same thing as first-person shooters always focusing on World War II. I always appreciate games with unique atmospheres like BioShock and Atomic Heart, you know, games with strong settings. And I know some people who have previewed the game who basically feel it was kind of disconnected and they didn't feel as strong connection to the world space as, say, Nioh 2, but I personally think it did a great job. There is, of course, spirit summons, the same as in Nioh 2, kind of like Elden Ring to some degree. You can't actually harness their abilities anymore like you would in Nioh 2, which is a bit of a letdown, I guess, but they are trying to do a more streamlined combat where they can focus even more on the details of, you know, fast-paced action and all of the hitboxes feel great, okay? The impact feels good. Sometimes the animations do look a little bit janky and the camera just kind of bugs out because things are moving so quickly. This is not the type of game like God of War or Red Dead Redemption 2, which goes at a snail's pace and you just shove a finger up your asshole and you can still play it. You know, it's not that type of game, and I like games that are actually challenging and that actually respect the player to use their brain and engage with the goddamn world, okay? So you can't just take it easy in this, and I do think that's a good thing. The boss battles are, of course, a highlight here. They are, you know, multi-dimensional, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's not exactly a word to describe it, but you know what I mean. You know, there's different phases, and there's lots of things going on with the bosses. They don't just repeat the same moves over and over again, and they aren't too spammy, you know, like Elden Ring, okay? I'm calling you out, but yeah, the boss battles are pretty well designed, and they are, of course, aggressive as well. You also get a character creator, which you wouldn't with the Nioh 2 and other games like that, which is cool. And of course, you get the starting classes. You know, you can choose like wood magic, earth magic, or a more melee-focused character, you know, with fire magic or fire-based melee damage, stuff like that, which I think is great. But I do like the fact that Wulong Fallen Dynasty is trying to carve its own identity and set itself apart from the Souls-like games, and I absolutely appreciate it and love it, because I'm so passionate about games that try and do something new, any type of media that is original and creative. And stick around until the end of the video of this Wulong Fallen Dynasty review, because I do have some extra announcements to make. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty of all of the mechanics that just make this game unique, because of course we get a lot of third-person action melee games that are kind of Souls-like, but this does do different things here. If you're still watching this video and you still haven't subscribed, then I'm afraid I will find you. Oh, I can lubricate myself. Slither under your door, down the chimney, whatever, okay? I will find you and I will make you subscribe. So just do it now. Subscribe, goddammit. Now, if you look on screen, the spirit gauge is the thing that keeps on changing within combat. And this is such a cool mechanic, and it adds a whole new dimension to, you know, this melee-focused combat. If it's blue, you are being offensive, you are landing your hits, you're not getting hit yourself, so it's a lot more complicated and engaging and different than a stamina gauge that we get with most games. And I truly love this feature, okay, because you have to be constantly thinking about a whole new management type system, and that just adds a whole new dynamic to this type of game. And basically, if it dips into the orange, you are basically failing and you're getting hit a lot, you're not dodging enough. This game is all about forcing you to be aggressive and offensive. That's why I said it's very similar to Bloodborne. I know a lot of people want to compare it to Sekiro, but to me, it's a more aggressive, fast-paced Bloodborne, because it does push you to be offensive. You can play, you know, like a little soy boy if you want, but the game isn't exactly meant for that type of playstyle, and you will be punished for being a little soy boy, okay? So just bear that in mind. And the final system is the morale-based system, which is great. It's not like a morality system, you know, of good and evil. This is very different. This is how pumped, how hyped up you are, or how much of a depressive little doomer cuck you are, okay? So basically, the system relies on level, okay? So if you're level 20, for example, and you defeat a level that's beneath you, you're not gonna jump up a massive amount of morale levels. But if you defeat an enemy that's higher in morale, you're gonna level up even faster, and you're gonna have way more morale than you did before. And then this makes all of the other enemies with a lower morale much weaker. And it's got a cool feature in which if you destroy the boss, okay, basically, of course, this is going to give you a lot of morale, and then this actually lowers the levels of the surrounding, you know, kind of weaker enemies, which makes them a lot more easier to kill. You can just basically farm XP, and it feels good. It doesn't feel like a cheat tactic. It feels like you've earned it because you defeated the boss, and it just makes you feel like OP, and you can just focus on grinding that XP and gathering loot. Or you can do it the other way and basically farm the enemies who are stronger than you to begin with, and then go into the boss, and the boss won't be as difficult. So it's got a multi-layered system here that I really appreciate and I like. So that is my Wulong Fallen Dynasty review, my game review of Wulong Fallen Dynasty. I hope you enjoyed the Wulong Fallen Dynasty gameplay that I've managed to capture. This gameplay is all based around the early build and the preview versions of the game, so bear that in mind. And I truly hope you enjoyed this video, and please do subscribe. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell, and maybe go check out my music that I make on Spotify. My new album, Nova, will be out shortly, within the next month or so, so just bear in mind and keep an eye out on Spotify for that. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. I love to engage in conversation with you guys. You know, this is a community and I want to hear from you, so yeah, make sure to drop a comment, and look forward to more interesting and diverse content. It's not all gonna be game videos. It's not all gaming videos here, but that is a big focus of this channel. And to the new subscribers, thank you so much. You won't be disappointed. I will work hard for you guys. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Stay blessed. Peace out.